everybody, and hello, Robin. Welcome to the official podcast series Tabcast by Tab Group, where today we are highlighting the upcoming Second World Cold Chain Expo in the year 2025. We are looking to dive deep with global change makers transforming the cold chain and the logistics industry. I'm Tanya from Tab Group, and as I mentioned, joining me today is someone who truly needs no introduction in the logistics ecosystem, Robin Verma, the founder and CEO of RV Consultancy. And what I love most is that he has over 2 decades of impactful experience in freight forwarding in the logistics industry that spans across Europe and the Middle East. Thank you for being here, Robin. Want to know your thoughts quickly. How do you feel being here?
Thank you very much for having me, Tanya, on the first TED uh, calls, and I appreciate the invitation. I feel really good, and looking forward to having this conversation kicking off.
Absolutely, and it's a real pleasure. So let's start right at the beginning, Robin. You have worked across markets and built your own consultancy now. So what was that defining moment that pulled you into the world of logistics? I really want to know.
Yeah, so basically, I must say it happened approximately 8 years ago. I was working for an international company for over 7 years almost. My last employer up to COVID, and then when the COVID came, unfortunately they needed to do cost cutting, and I was one of the few that was on the list of making redundant. So at the same time, myself and my CEO, we were made redundant, and I had basically two options, right? So it was COVID, and I had two options. I was like, either go back to your home country, or the other option was find another a job,
Mhm.
which was very difficult because it's COVID. So a lot of the companies were either reducing or not hiring, and etc. So back in my mind, I always had this idea of starting something for myself. I thought, why not, right? Why not? And the Abu Dhabi government, because I live in Abu Dhabi, the Abu Dhabi government implemented at that time trade licenses for consultants. And I thought, I give it a shot. I try to see if I can get a trade license with logistics consulting services, right? And basically, that option was there. I provided all the necessary documents, the plan, the name, um, and it got approved. So I was like, okay, so now we need to start working.
Right.
Um, so yeah, no, but basically it went very fast. So that was very nice, and I had this idea of RV consultancy. I thought RV is nice for because my it's my initials.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and I thought, okay, then we will make consulting as we will advise um, freight forwarding companies or logistics companies
Right.
on a commercial level, right? So the commercial growth and business development,
Absolutely.
all the
I think
things related, all the things related to the commercial aspects.
Right. I think that's such a grounded story, Robin, and it's always inspiring to hear how people eventually convert and want to convert their hands-on experience into, some kind of a purpose-driven venture. I'm sure there are
Yeah,
a lot of listeners who can, relate to this kind of an entrepreneurial pivot. We are in a world where entrepreneurship is right at the top of the helm. So I think
yeah,
it's a good
100%. Yeah,
and it's I think especially considering COVID, the pivot that you've taken into this venture, kudos to you, and I think it's going really well. And we are here talking about being expert in everything with you today, so I think it's interesting. So, moving forward, Robin, how have you seen the cold chain logistics space evolve, particularly in the Middle East over the last decade? You've been there for a very long time now. What changes or patterns have stood out particularly to you the most?
yeah. So good question, really, because I've been here now almost 2 decades in the Middle East. I'm running 16 years or something, but at the time of in the beginning, let's say 16 years back, the cold chain was very um immature, to say it like that. Um, there were a lot of hiccups, and where
The landscape was not quite there, I think.
yeah, but I mean, like the standards. I'm trying to
Hmm.
find the word, but the standards were not as high as what it is now, right?
Right,
So what I can remember from one of the last discussions that we had as well, that we were talking about the standards of the level of cold chain has massively or has improved. It's not there yet, but it's going to be better and better. What we also seen is now the technology is implemented a lot of the cold chain uh, facilities. So there are now devices where you can track or monitoring the fluctuance of the temperatures, especially for good for fruits and vegetables. Um, you see now a lot of the cold chains coming within the country, right? So within
right,
UAE, investors are building more and more cold chain hubs, as we see that that is a scarcity, but it's also a necessity that we build more of these units. Um, you see Saudi Arabia, if we speak about other countries, Saudi Arabia is also very much invested in there, where they're building their hubs on the cold chain, not so much as we're doing here in the UAE, but
right,
it's coming there as well. We have now in Abu Dhabi for a long time. It's there, but the food hub, which obviously needs a lot of cold chain facilities. So Kizat is part of that society and
right.
building that community more and more. So I think there's still a long way to go. There's still a lot to do in the cold chain facilitations.
Right.
But there are many other freight forwarders in Dubai, like RSA, for
Hmm.
example. They made a beautiful new warehouse recently. So these guys we need more, right? These are the front
Absolutely.
runners. These are the
Yeah.
front runners for others to follow, and that's what I've seen during the years. The technology has improved, so obviously
Yeah.
um, the warehouses have been improved because of the era that we are in now. So yeah, that's nice. And nowadays you have also robotics within the cold facilities, which is also something new that was also not there in the past,
Hmm.
right? So the future is very bright, I must say, and very interesting. And
Absolutely.
I do think that it goes further our imagination onwards.
Right. I think that that really somehow put things into perspective for us. And you also slightly mentioned about technology and how it has changed the rules of the game, right? From starting with the digital tools like AI-based route planning, real-time tracking. I think all of these advancements are really pushing our limits of accepting the idea of having a good cold chain logistics system that is eventually reshaping the whole industry today, and how there are a number of increasing regional demands as well. As you mentioned, it is spanning across the GCC countries. It's not just limited to UAE anymore, and there have been a quite a high demand of these freight forwarders and these logistics company. So what is the generic business landscape that you're currently seeing? Are there other entrepreneurs who are also budding in terms of startups, or those who are trying to get into the business? What's your idea on that?
Yeah, of course, there are other entrepreneurs, and look, entrepreneurs like myself, logistics consulting entrepreneurs, to say like that, there are just a few. I know my good friend Nesreen, for example, she's one. She more or less started the same period as that I do, but she's more focused on the operational side, where I am more focused on the commercial side. But we are just a few in the market, right? So we know all the big fours, the EYs and KPMGs, and
Mm-hmm.
um, we know that they are there. But yeah, we see them as colleagues, and I do see as well more entrepreneurs coming into the industry, trying to set up businesses, either being it as a consultant, because that's for a lot of people sometimes the easiest way to do business, as a transition to something permanent or whatsoever, or permanent as being an entrepreneur. But yeah, no, I do see a lot coming up in that regard.
So yeah, so thank you for sharing that, Robin. Now, if I were to solely shift gears to freight forwarding, which is one of your core area of expertise, I would love to know from you that what are some of the most overlooked challenges when coordinating cold chain shipments across borders? Is it documentation, custom delays, or partner reliability? It See, this question is for those who know, who are in the middle of this industry and who are trying to understand the basic technical details of these landscapes.
Yeah, no, good question. Thanks. But I do think that it has a little bit of to do with not all, but at least with your partner that you are partnering with, and as well the knowledge that some of these partners might have, right, or might not have.
Right.
So there is sometimes a lack of knowledge in there. Obviously, documentation is very important, especially when your product comes to customs. It is very helpful if you have your documentation in the right manner, and if you have a strong partner that can clear that and manage that, then a shipment can go very smooth, and it can go
Right.
very smooth like normal in as in non-cold chain related shipments. But for cold chain, there's just a lot of regularities that you need to check, from custom side, from documentation side, and as I said, you need to have a reliable partner that knows how to transport even, right? Your transportation needs to also be key, because
Right.
if you transport fruits or cold chain, no, products that needs refrigerated transportation, your partner needs to know that a truck needs to come that is temperature controlled, right? Or
Right.
being minus. So these all are very important in the supply chain,
Of the cold chain
ecosystem.
logistics. Yeah.
Yeah, and then in the cold chain ecosystem. Yeah, of
I think,
course.
yeah, that's a great breakdown, Robin. And even I believe that, it's easy to underestimate how operational complexities multiplies in cold chain when you're dealing with cross-border compliance or even time-tight windows. I mean, it is really important to consider all of those factors that we just discussed. But when it comes to building end-to-end cold chain solutions in freight forwarding, what key factors must be considered from the outset? Like, is it more about selecting the right vendors, route optimization? I mean, what are some of those pointers?
Look, again, a great question. There are what is very important in that is your route optimization and your software solution, right?
Hmm.
If you have a good solution in that regard, then that works very well with your vision and with your goals that you want. A suitable partner, it's a welcome plus, I would say, right? Because okay, the suitable partner can do as much as he can, but
Right.
if your software solution is good, then yeah, then the partner is just an add-on plus, right? I mean that it will just um, intensify or enhancify your solution.
Right.
So that is what I think is very key. If you set up the right solutions and the right software, with your first mile and last mile transportation softwares, it is very key. Then you're already a great start ahead.
Right. So, Robin, we do see like AI-based route optimization, real-time tracking, and predictive analytics in terms of the whole the whole process. So, how do you think that is building the kind of reliability for the partners who are, getting involved in the business? I mean, is there some sort of a easier reliability when it comes to AI based models?
Well, it's I think it's a bit hard to say. AI is of course a great tool and evolving massively, being it in logistics, cold chain, and all the other industries as well. I think if you have a good partner that has a great solution, for example, one of my partners is GND.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think GND is also well known for for the event, but they have a interesting solution where
Right,
they track and trace
right,
uh, the cold chain products, right? So with this device, you can put it either physically in a container, or you can either put it within a truck or put it wherever you want.
right.
It's moved, but they also have products that can be set within a chamber of a warehouse.
Mm.
So all these AI supplements and all the AI technologies are definitely bringing a change in the game for a company that wants to grow.
Right,
And
exactly.
I, yeah, and I think that we need to embrace that. I think we need to embrace the AI. We need to help where we can to improve that. Because it is a nice future, right? And it helps as lot as well the company, because you will minimize labor cost where you were doing it before manually. Now you can do it digitally or via AI, right? You can do it
Exactly.
via a monitoring system.
Right.
Um, and I think that is nice. I think a lot of the companies are evolving in that, and the cold chain is already a long time, or the cold chain industry is already a long time existing,
Mm-hmm.
but nowadays it's more and more evolving because everybody is now more and more speaking about it.
Absolutely. I
Um,
think I completely agree with that. And it all eventually needs to, align like a clockwork for a business like this to work out. I mean,
yeah,
the kind of orchestration you described is really the heart of the modern logistics system. And that's how the business been evolving, the landscape's been there. And
yeah.
those are good insights on this. Now, I have an interesting question for you, Robin. So you yourself initiated the business of RV Consultancy amid COVID. And
Mhm.
I want to learn from you that what are the core elements of a resilient logistics or cold chain business? I mean, whether it's geopolitical shocks, pandemics, or natural disruptions, how do companies build flexibility and continuity into their systems, especially welcoming the modern innovations?
Yeah, interesting question. Um, what I think for myself, what helped for myself is that you need to be consistent, right? Consistent is key. Keep on pushing what you are or what you want to do.
Hmm.
Um, I, as RV Consultancy, we are now 5 years old. Um, we are still here.
Hmm.
I could say we have done several projects during the period. Um, we have been um, blessed enough to be still here, right? So be consistent, be persistent as well.
Right.
Not at the level that it is over, but you need to find the balance.
Exactly.
And I do think that if you keep on chasing your customers or your clients or your prospects that you would like to work with, eventually it will happen, right?
Right.
We are here for the long term. I'm here for the long term. I'm not here just for a year or 2 years or whatever. I want to be here for the long term, and I want to grow.
Exactly.
Um, and I think that is for me key to do. So be persistent, be fair as well, be honest. I think honesty is also very important nowadays.
Absolutely.
We know that a lot of companies are price driven. I totally understand that, but you need to be honest as well, and need to be fair.
Mhm.
And I think that a lot of the companies nowadays more like that, with the past knowing, where it was more driven on quick fixes and quick cost and stuff. So
Right.
yeah, I feel, but it's my personal opinion, and it's also what I do myself, being honest, being fair, being direct. Maybe that's because I'm Dutch. We are quite direct, but yeah, that's what worked for me and has been working. So yeah.
Right. I think I love that emphasis on being redundant and trying to have a scenario planning mindset. It's really about the mindset shift and not just
Yeah.
for efficiency, but for the longer sustainable survival of the business. So I
Yep.
think that was a great hint. Now, Robin, if you were speaking directly to someone who's just entering the cold chain or the logistics world, what's one piece of advice that you'd gift them to stay relevant and thrive? I mean, you just mentioned about being honest and being also considerate in the business while making money. But is there anything that comes with a technical mindset?
Come and have a word with me. No,
Absolutely.
yeah, no, but look, I think keep on pushing what you are doing, right? So that's what I
Right.
would say. You have ups and downs. I have also ups and downs, evens, right? So you fall and you stand up. So it will only make you stronger, I always say, and you learn from it. So I would say, um, don't easily give up. Keep on pushing. Um, the technology is nowadays for the future or well, the current generation, let's say it like that, is their future. It is their future. We are just learning from it. I'm learning from it. But it's their future, right? So they need to take use of that.
Right.
Nowadays technology is a helpful tool, and back in the days it was just a tool, and now it can do so much. It can do so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's gold advice, Robin, especially the part
Yeah.
about being curious and also learning with and beyond just the tech. So I believe from talking with you that logistics is so much more about just machines and everything. It's about the people as well. And I think you've nailed at that
Yeah,
part.
no, 100%. 100%. Look, in the end, people buy from people,
Yeah,
right? So that is what I've learned. People buy from people.
exactly.
So whatever you are, wherever you are, whatever company you are, if your relation, that is key. If your relation is good with the person that you are selling to, or selling your solution to or service, he will come to you. He will come to
Absolutely.
you.
So, Robin, thank you for this incredible conversation. And as we wrap up, is there a key message? You've been a part of the World Cold Chain Expo's last edition. So, is there a message or like a call to action that you'd like to share with the wider industry, or perhaps with those, who may be interested in attending the second edition of the World Cold Chain Expo?
Well, look, I always say come to the second one as well. There are many companies that are exhibiting there with their technologies, which are very interesting to see. The topics are very nice to hear. Key to action, I would say, I think we as in the freight forwarding industry are doing a great job in building the facilities, increasing that need of the solution to the wider community. So I think that's what we should keep on going on. Um, Come to the event, see it yourself, listen to the topics, and hopefully you will learn more from it.
Absolutely. I think a perfect note to end on, Robin. Thoughtful, practical, and forward looking, just like this entire conversation that we had. Thank you again, Robin. And it was so
You're
interesting to talk
welcome.
to you today.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
So, and that brings us to the end of this episode of the Tapcast series. Huge thanks to Robin for sharing his insights, stories, and strategies with us today. And to all the listeners, if you enjoyed this conversation, as Robin just said, be sure to subscribe and check out the second World Cold Chain Expo's website for more event details. We will attach the link in caption. Thank you, Robin. Until next time.
Thank you very much for having me, Tanya. Thank you very much. See
Absolutely.
you.